What is a business model? Let's look at what it is and the 9 key parts you need to know and account for when building yours. First of all, a business model is a tool that shows how a business plans to make money and turn a profit. So it shows how your business is going to run, the internal workings of the business, how all the different parts and all the different little systems work together to make that business function in order to achieve its goals. Now, the first thing you want to identify is how exactly your business makes money if it's an existing business, or how you plan to make money if you're yet to launch that business. And there are so many different ways, right? So there's manufacturing. Are you going to be getting raw materials and processing them, creating something new, creating a finished product that you push into the market? Are you going to be retailing, where you buy products that already exist from someone and then you sell in bits to the final consumer? Are you going to be offering subscriptions? So maybe you've created a software as a service. So you're offering subscriptions for people to get access to that service, get access to that software, or get access to a version of the software, right? So you have a free version and you have a premium version of that software. Are you going to be franchising? So if you've already established your business in the market, you already have a good reputation, you can go ahead and give people the license for a fee, of course, to open a branch of your business using your trademarks, using your policies, and of course, you keep an eye on the business and you're in charge of how things run, basically, right? So is that going to be a way your business makes money? You need to know exactly how it plans to make money, because if you don't have a plan for revenue, then it's going to be difficult for you to turn a profit, right? Now, your business may use one or a combination of different models. It all depends on the different customer segments you serve, that is the different classes and groups of people within your target market, as well as the products and services that you provide. So once you're done identifying that core part, which is how does my business make money? What type of business am I running here? Is it a manufacturing business? Is it a retailing business? And so on. The next thing you want to do is to identify the key gears in your business that make it function properly. So there are 9 key gears, and this is gotten from the business model canvas by Alex Osterwald, I think that's his name, of Strategizer, right? So he created the business model canvas, and I also took some questions from the modified version by Ashmari. So the first key gear is your customer segment, right? What problems are you trying to solve, and who has these problems? So who are the people that have a need, have a problem, have a challenge, have a desire that your products or services are going to solve? Who are these people? You need to know them. You need to highlight them. The next thing is your value proposition. So what solutions already exist in the market? Chances are very high that you have competitors and they're already offering products or services that serve the same needs and wants and desires that your business is trying to solve. So what solutions already exist in that market you're trying to become a player in, or that you're already in and you're trying to grow in, right? Next up, still on the value proposition, what solutions are you bringing to the market? This is where you talk about the value you're providing, right? Your value proposition. So what value are you bringing to the market? And the third thing on the value proposition is what is different and unique about your solution. So Ash calls this your unique advantage, right? It's your competitive advantage. Basically, your unfair advantage is what he calls it actually. So what is that thing that is different and unique about your solution that gives you an unfair advantage over everyone else in the marketplace? That is something you have to flesh out under your value proposition. The third key gear is your channels. Now, your channels cover how you're going to deliver or distribute your value proposition to your customers. So it's all about distribution. Yes, you have a product or a service. Your customers are at another end. How are you going to distribute, get those products or services to your customers? That is what you're going to highlight under your channels. The fourth thing is your customer relationship. What kind of relationship will you have with customers? So are you a business that is just going to focus on, one-off purchases? You're not really keen on customer retention because of the type of business you run. So there's an example on Strategizer's website on maybe a shop at the airport. So if there is a shop that sells gift items and all sorts of stuff, at the airport, you know that there's so many passengers that are going to be, going and coming. You might not really have the time to focus on, getting details, trying to retain customers. You don't even know where they are coming from and where they're traveling to, right? So that is a more transactional customer relationship. They just stop by, buy what they need, and they've, flown to wherever it is they're going to. But if you're a business, maybe you offer a subscription service, you're going to want to retain customers. You're going to want to ensure you have long-term relationships with your customers so that they keep coming back and giving you their money over time, right? So the customer relationship section, you're going to define the kind of relationship you will have or that you already have with your customers. The fifth part is your revenue streams, one of my favorite parts. How are you going to make money from your value proposition? So from that product or service that you're offering into the market, how are you going to make money from it? And then what are the different places or sources your business will earn from? So you don't need to have just one revenue stream. As much as possible, have as many as you can manage without spreading your capital or spreading your business resources too thin, all right? What are all the different sources your business could earn from? So you could earn from sales of the product or of the service. You could earn from maybe leasing. Maybe you have equipment that you use for production and you have your on seasons and your off seasons. So during your off seasons, you leave them out. There's so many different ways you could earn. And that's what the revenue streams section or segment requires you to flesh out. The next thing is your cost structure. What costs will you incur to keep your business's lights on, right? So this is where you talk about the cost that your business, if you don't spend this money, your business cannot operate, right? So if you're a business and you need certain equipment, maybe you're a bakery, you're going to need an oven, it's a non-negotiable. You're going to need staff who is going to operate these machines. You're going to need customer service reps for customer support and so on. What are those costs that your business will incur for it to keep going? And then the seventh segment is key activities. What do you need to do for you to deliver your value proposition? So what activities do you need to do on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis to deliver your value proposition? So still using the example of a bakery, you're going to need to do marketing. If you don't market, you're not going to get customers. When those customers come in, you're going to need to take orders. That's a daily activity. You're going to need to actually process their orders, go ahead and produce the baked goods that they need, and so on, right? So under key activities, you're going to map out those activities you need to do to deliver your value proposition. The next one is key resources. What tools, facilities, people, and so on do you need to create and deliver your value proposition? So key activities is focused on the things you need to do on a weekly, daily, monthly, and so on basis. Key resources focuses on like the tools, the kind of people, the facilities you need. So the bakery business is going to need a bakery. You're going to need that office space for you to be able to produce, right? You're going to need staff to be in the facility to operate the machines. You're going to need all sorts of different equipment and tools, right? To enable you create your value proposition and so on. So key resources, you're going to be highlighting the tools, facilities, and all the resources that you would need to create and deliver value to the market. And finally, key partnerships. So key partnerships actually focuses on who do you need to work with for your business to run smoothly? Who do you need to work with for your business to run smoothly? So a bakery, for example, is going to need to work with suppliers because you're going to need to purchase baking supplies, flour, milk, eggs, sugar, and so on. If you don't have contact with a supplier or with suppliers who provide these items for you, you're going to run out and you'll not be able to deliver orders for customers, right? So you'll not be able to create and deliver your value proposition to the market. That is why you need to pay attention to your key partners. Now, when you answer these questions, it's going to give you a clearer idea of how your business will run. And that clarity is very important because you need to know how your business works, how it needs to run for you to be able to generate revenue, for you to be able to minus your costs, and then for you to now have something left over as profit, right? So you can expand your business or invest in your business and just have it grow. So as you launch and test your business model, you're probably going to need to tweak it. So over time, as you create one business model, you take it to the market, you're going to get data from the market and say, okay, this needs to go, this needs to go. So feel free to tweak and upgrade your business model as frequently as you need to using data from your business activities. If you have any questions about business models, feel free to ask in the comments.